I sometimes think to myself, maybe I deserve this. Maybe I deserve to be treated like this. I've already been divorced and now this.
Hey, babe, can you get us more beers?
Look at this girl, man. What a beauty.
What are you guys watching? Where did my life go wrong? When I was younger, I watched my mother and father argue every day. My dad was never present, and even when he was, his mind was somewhere else.
You're home late? Again?
I was just out with my co-workers.
You smell like alcohol and women's perfume.
Leave me alone, all you do is complain.
Look at me and tell me you were with your colleagues.
I said, leave me alone.
We spent many nights eating alone. Just me and my mother. I'd hear her crying at night by herself, and I always thought to myself, maybe the worst thing in life would be to grow old, alone. I would dream of marrying a man who would make me feel loved, a man who would never leave me. I promised myself I would never have a life like my mum's.
You may now kiss the bride.
But that didn't last long. After 3 years of constant fighting and threatening a divorce, he finally did it. I decided to go back to university and planned to get my doctorates in New York, until one day I met the man of my dreams. He was so charming. He was tall, had dark features, and dressed nice. It felt like everything in my life was starting to make sense. That maybe I found the person I was meant to be with. I was so excited. He was so sweet to me. He took me out on dates. We'd tell each other our dreams and how we wanted to travel the world together. He brought me to the movies. He introduced me to all of his colleagues. He'd surprise me at work, and he always used to compliment me.
You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
I'd think to myself how lucky I was to find love again. But in the same time, I was afraid to lose him. It went on like that for several months. Our love was so passionate. Eventually, I moved in with him. I decided I wasn't going to continue my education, that I'd stay in London with him. I knew it was the wrong decision. I had already put in so much work, but I didn't want another failed relationship. I felt responsible to keep my partner happy. He told me he'd always love me. He told me I'd always be his. But one day, something changed.
Guess what? I got a promotion. I'm going to celebrate with the guys, but I'll be home later tonight.
Hi, love. Oh, you did. Congratulations. I just made dinner for us. He was occupied by work or whoever he was talking to.
Let's go. I'm late.
I think I preferred to stay in my denial. Everything felt off. What was wrong with me? Was I no longer beautiful? I decided to keep trying in every way to be perfect for him, to have his love and attention again. I decided I'd surprise him with a sexy outfit to help spark our love again.
Sarah, what are you doing here?
Thanks for the meeting, Ryan. I was going to surprise you. It was so painful. I felt worthless. I felt like I'd lost control of my life again. I should have left, but I thought it was my fault. I thought I was being insecure, so I decided I had to work hard to ignore my feelings of hurt and rejection.
You don't have to worry about anything.
I tried to deny and minimize what he did. I took his lies as the truth, but it didn't work. As much as I wanted everything to be like it was, I knew it would never be the same. I felt worthless. I was depressed. I was sad. I was filled with anxiety. I vowed to fix things. He'd give me that attention for those precious minutes, and then return to himself. Until one day, I had enough and decided to seek help. A friend at work referred me to a therapist she knew. I told her of my first husband, Kevin, and now of Ryan, of my childhood, of how I feel like I have no control of my life. I told her of the pain and trauma of watching my father abandon my mother, how I was so afraid to be alone like her. I told her how much I resented men. My father, my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend, all of these people who rejected and cheated on me. She told me that she has seen this codependency behavior many times. She told me that unless I work on myself, this could happen again and again, and potentially get worse and worse. If I don't work on myself, I may always attract a man like my father in some different shape or form. I read about codependency, about love addiction, and finally, I decided to leave. He begged for me to stay and promised me he'd change. But I couldn't do it again. I'm going to be a new person with a new life.